Welcome to another episode of the 5enses webcast with your host, Robert Zinni. Today, we'll be highlighting the Prescott Film Festival with none other than Helen Stephenson. So sit back, maybe grab some popcorn for this episode, and enjoy our conversation. All right, we're here with Helen from the Prescott Film Festival. How are you doing today, Helen?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for joining us on the 5enses webcast. As I said earlier, I've never been to the Prescott Film Festival, even though I've lived here over a decade. So I'm really happy for you to come in and talk about what's going on.
Great, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so when is the Prescott Film Festival?
It is September 27th through October 2nd.
Okay. And where do we get to see the viewings? Is it all at House at Yavapai College, or how's that working?
The screenings are at the Yavapai College Performing Arts Center, and in the theater there, and the workshops are in a classroom in Building 3. So we have free workshops for 3 days before some of the films. The first one's on the Arizona tax credit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So please educate me a little bit before we get into the film festival. So what is the Arizona tax credit?
So basically, Arizona was called a flyover state because you could go to New Mexico and get basically the same landscape, and they had a tax credit there, which means that if producers follow whatever set of rules the state has, using local talent, using hotels that are, using local everything, to a certain percentage. I mean, they can fly in their cinematographer, et cetera. But they have to use a lot of the talent from that state, and then they get a refund on their taxes. Not sure what it is in New Mexico right now, but the one for Arizona is $25 million.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe I should just sign up for that
there we
workshop. So what are the other workshops that you all offer?
One of them is about the other uses of trailers. Like, you see a trailer for a film, and you think that's the only thing for a trailer, but there's trailers for concerts, and we have an amazing young man named Greg Paul who's going to come and give that talk.
I love Greg.
Oh, you know him?
Yeah,
oh, good, good.
He helps with the TBD show here and whatnot. So
great. And we have one, let's see, the film tax credit, that one, and then one on the independent production life. We have a gentleman who is from Sedona originally, and then he went and decided to do production, and he's been all over the place, especially Louisiana, which also has a film tax credit. And he's going to talk about what it is to be an independent producer. He made a film practically on a shoestring, practically by himself, and he got it on Amazon, and what happens, and where does the money come from after you finish a film? So, I think those will be interesting to our film students and also to the general public, because people say, "Okay, you've made this film, now what?" So,
right. Well, that's cool that you provide classes or these tutorials for either people in film or film fanatics, and then they get to enjoy the films at night. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the afternoon and evenings, depending on the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so I've been to a few film festivals before. Do you have like a lineup or specific days of when you're going to show the specific categories for each film?
No, it's not by category.
Okay.
We try to do a narrative and doc, so that you have a break from the documentaries, and just to mix it up a little bit.
I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So I see that you have some material in there. What did you bring for us?
This is the poster this year.
I love that.
Thank you.
That's a great poster.
Little film crew down here. Beth Hammer actually is our graphic designer, and she's done our posters for years. And the last 3 years, we've won an International Film Festival Poster Award. So we're right there listed with Cannes, So
okay.
I can't get any better than that. So that's how good she is, Beth Hammer. She's really awesome.
Nice.
These are save the dates, and they're little film strips, real film, that we have volunteers cut them and put little stickers on them. They're in bookshops, they're in the Raven, and all around town in the libraries, Prescott and Prescott Valley. I got these film reels when the festival first started. The Yavapai Prescott Indian Tribe was really supportive, and we were screening at the Frontier Village Cinema 10, which is on tribal land, of course. And when the theater shut down, they said, hey, we have these boxes of commercials, little reels. Do you want them? And I'm like, yes, I want them. So that's what we're still using them. And that was 10 years ago.
Nice. That's a good marketing scheme right there.
Yeah. And I'm thinking I'm going to get John to make a QR code. So next year we have a QR code on the back. So.
You have to stay with the times. The QR codes will at least give their clients right to where you need to go. So,
and how ironic that it's a film strip from a film that hardly anybody uses anymore, and it's going to have a QR code on the back. So I thought that was awesome.
I love that.
And the other thing I brought is a poster for The Long Rider.
Okay. And
this is, we call our horse film. So our horse films generally sell out, but those people come just for the horse film. They love horses, and this is Prescott. So yeah, giddy up. And unusually we're showing it twice. We're going to show it September 28th at 7 p.m. because that's when the filmmaker can come. And he's coming from Canada.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. And then October 1st, we're going to show it at 4 p.m. because Saturday afternoons is when the horse people like to come and see their horse films. We've sold out 1,000 seats in a horse film before. This is, to me, it's not just a horse film because it's about determination and setting goals and keep going till you achieve it. This young man the documentary is about was originally from South America, and then his parents immigrated to Canada. And then his parents moved back to South America. And he's like, I'm going to finish up my schooling in Canada, but I want to go back home. He rides a horse from Canada to South America.
That's pretty cool.
And that's why there's a designation for that called a long rider. So someone who does X number of miles on a horse on a particular trip, they're designated a long rider. And it's very rare. People talk about it a lot, doing it. In the documentary, they tell you this, but not many people actually do it.
Wow. Okay.
So he's done it. And it's a really good story. I mean, I get the films in and I start to watch them, and then I give them to my husband, who uploads them onto our website, the trailers and stuff. And I got this in and sent it down to him, and he said, have you watched this yet? And I said, well, I'm like on the first 10 minutes. And he says, wait, let's watch it together. It's so good. So, and I'm not a horse person, so it just is a really good film. Very inspiring.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see that. And plus, is that where you got the inspiration for, here, let me see this. For this poster, is that supposed to indicate the long rider?
No, we do the poster about a year in advance.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So we just always have a horse film if we can.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's a good poster.
Thank you.
So, we're talking about Prescott, okay, the Prescott Film Festival. Is there other films or showings that aren't horses?
Definitely. This is only one horse film.
Okay.
The opening night film is called I'm Mordecai, and it's about an elderly gentleman who actually was really young during the Holocaust and is a survivor of the Holocaust. But it's a comedy because he's gone beyond that, and this is his life now in Florida, and he has this flip phone that he's had forever. This is current day, and the flip phone breaks, and he's forced to get an iPhone. And the whole transition of kicking and screaming into the 21st century is about the film. And it's cute as heck. Judd Hirsch from Taxi stars in it.
Okay.
So we're real excited to have that as our opening night film. And then we have a little after party with desserts following it just to celebrate the opening of the festival.
Nice.
The closing last day we do is a silent film with live accompaniment. So when you go, in the old days when you would go to a silent film, you'd walk into a big theater with chandeliers, and you'd have a lot of people in the big room, one room, not these teeny tiny theaters, one room. And you would have a live orchestra or a pianist, and then you would have a beautiful print of the film. Like we're used to seeing scratchy, terrible prints of silent films, right? That's like, ugh. But we find remastered silent films. So we show those, and then we have an orchestra that's their expertise is soundtracks for silent film. And we fly them in from Colorado, and then they do this performance for us. And before that, we have the Riverboat Bash. Mm-hmm. So the Riverboat Bash is because the film is Steamboat Bill Jr. with Buster Keaton.
Oh, nice. Nice. I love Buster Keaton, yes.
He is amazing. There's some shots in there you can't believe. Yeah, without stunt doubles, it's like, ah!
Right. And I hope that like our viewers, at least the younger viewers, Gen Zers and whatnot, come to learn and appreciate the art of silent film. Because I feel like for me, with my amateur filming, with the TBD show and my stop motion I was saying, there's a true art to silent film because you have to have everything from the imagery to making sure that the actors who did their own stunts do it correctly and not injure themselves. But then also, like you said, the music. So I feel like the silent films from back when were like the true art of cinematography, or not cinematography, of cinema, because you had to have all those components. And I also feel like film is the best form of art because you have to compile all the different mediums into one.
And the silent films, all you have is the image. So it's really visual storytelling. And it is an art form. You're right. Yeah, it's really good.
Nice. So what are some of the other films, or how about we go with this? How does the Prescott Film Festival select the different films? Because I'm sure for people out there who've submitted before, like there should be a list of criteria. So how do you handpick the films, or how does your team do that?
It is definitely a team. We have, I think this year we had 65 movie reviewers. And my husband, Don, actually built a software application for us to do this, because we used to go to Cattleman's Bar and Grill and exchange DVDs and do it all on paper. But he looked at that and he said, I think I could do better. So he built this entire system. It's called Film Festival Fusion. And if you get trained as a movie reviewer, and most of them are from Prescott, most of our reviewers.
Okay.
We have a couple from Phoenix and a couple from Tucson, but mostly it's from Prescott. So we trained them how to look at a film critically. And then they watch them on the platform. We upload them into the platform, and then they score them on the platform.
Nice.
And then the scores are submitted. And then the programming team, which is another set of volunteers, we look at all the A's and B's. They're not, the movie reviewers don't know they're giving them A's and B's. They just have a number.
Okay.
So we look at those top scorers. And then I go through and look at the ones that maybe the movie reviewers might not have quite understood. And I look at those and I give them a second glimpse. Because some of them that they just didn't get, we ended up putting in the festival. Because we look at, I looked at every single movie that was submitted. It was my summer. It was 7 days a week.
How many hours did you have to put into that?
It was, I don't know. It was, let's see. It was a lot. It was 7 days a week, and then thinking about them, and you have to also contact the filmmakers, who are the worst communicators, which is why we have a class called in the Film and Media Arts program at YC called the Business of Content Creation, because there's some brilliant kids that go through the program and they're really good filmmakers, and then they ask me, now what? Well, this is how you do now what? This is the next step. So. Because the filmmakers take forever to get back to me. I've been trying to get a hold of one guy for a short for like 2 weeks, and he hasn't gotten back to me yet. And then there's the distribution companies, and then you have to negotiate with each distribution company because they want $1 million for everything, and I don't have $1 million for everything. So it's not really. I'm vastly exaggerating, but. Yeah, I've had an $8,000 screening fee before for a film.
Wow.
Yeah, so
okay.
you better sell that puppy out. It's the business end, it's the artistic end, and then it's putting something together that you would present to the public that they're going to want, and your audience. like my audience, our audience, they're mine. Our audience doesn't like horror films. They don't like excessive violence. So, I mean, if there's a reason for something, then okay. Then we get that and we roll with it and they love it. But if it's just like because you want to do, a shot that has blood spurting on the wall and has nothing to do in the story context, then no, we don't do that.
Yeah, on a personal level, I don't really like horror films. I think they're cheesy, and that's why they have specific film festivals for the horror.
Yes.
And there's a good, population that likes that, but just not for me.
Yeah, not for me either. We're going to do a film called Cat Daddies, which is about men who have cats that they love.
Okay, so all you cat lovers come that
It's adorable. And I'm working with some of the cat nonprofits to bring them before and after the film to see if they can adopt some cats.
That's a smart idea. That is awesome. So what day is that so we can get that information out for our cat lovers here?
I'm going to have to look that up.
All right. We'll put it in the description.
We'll put it in the description, yeah. Yeah, I don't have the schedule memorized yet because I just finalized the last film today. So last 2 films today, actually. Another thing we have is the Manhattan Short Film Festival, which has its own audience, and it's an Oscar qualifying festival. So some of the films have been nominated for Oscars that have been played that. And it's 1 week, and the festival just happens to be in that week. We do it every year, but it happens to be during the festival this year. And they send out particular ballots that we have to collect and tabulate and then send back to the people in New York. And then in about a month, we'll find out which film, I always look at what did Prescott vote for and what actually won. So the Manhattan Short is really fun. Okay. And that's on Thursday night of the festival. And let's see, we have one called Chess Story. That's a foreign film. And I thought about it for days afterwards. Like when you watch a film and you're still thinking about it, that's the sign of a really good film. And I said, we have to have that film in because the programming committee agreed that it was really good. And let's see, we have one about wildfire. It's called Elemental, and it's about the element of fire and how different people and how even tribes manage their forests with fire and what they're doing in building technology to make houses essentially fireproof. I mean, we keep looking in all those forest fires and you'll see this one random house that survived. And they're basically telling you, okay, not that particular house maybe, but this is probably why that house survived. And it's things that I never thought of before. Like, in the front, in like a front porch, you have a overhang and it's just bare wood there. The sparks get up under that. And that's why people have started to close those in and put, fireproof, like concrete kind of things in there.
Maybe we all should watch that film in the Southwest because we have fires that are devastating almost every year now. So, all right.
Yeah, I think so. I really do. So, yeah, lots of really good films. We'll have all the trailers up on PrescottFilmFestival.com. We generally have a short before the screening of the feature, and then we do the feature. And if the filmmaker's here, and we're inviting filmmakers, obviously, then after the short, we'd do a Q&A with them, and then we would run the feature. And if that person is here or zooming in, we do a Q&A with them.
Excellent.
So
okay. Yeah. So the film festival is how many days?
It's Tuesday through Sunday.
Okay. And how much is a ticket? And do you sell individual tickets or is it a week-long package?
Both.
Okay.
Both. You get individual tickets for $14. If you're a student, then it's half that. Student, you can get show your ID and get a half-price ticket. And then we have the packages, like the Platinum Pass experience, and that is all the films, and then and that includes like the Riverboat Bash, that's food and wine before the silent film. And also upstairs, we have what we call the VIP Director's Loft. And the filmmakers and the Platinum Pass people and our board, I have an advisory board. They all are up there for meals and drinks and beverages, and like Knackered is donating beverages to us and things like that. So there's a place to stop and recharge, and people get to mingle with filmmakers who come.
Nice.
So that's like the fun experience, and we have mugs that are the poster. The poster's on a mug, so you can buy a mug at the festival. And we have little gift bags for the VIP. And you could buy a 10-pack. Like if you don't want to do the whole Platinum Pass experience, then the 10-pack is the way to go. So you buy 10 tickets, and then I think it's a 15 or something % discount. So yeah.
Excellent. Sounds like a good time. I'm looking forward to going for the first time this year. Before we wrap up, why did you get involved with the film festival? Like, what is it? What inspires you to spend your whole summer watching countless films, judging them, and then putting on this awesome event that's been around for a while here in Prescott? This
will be our 12th annual event. I started researching in 2008 to figure out how do you do a film festival. I was very fortunate that Patrick Schweiss from the Sedona International Film Festival took me on, and he mentored me here and there, and my husband too, because how do you do a film festival? It's a big old question, and there's so many moving pieces that most people don't understand. There's so many volunteers, and the food, and the drinks, and the exhibition copies, the marketing, all of those pieces have to come together, and it's a lot of volunteers. I mean, absolutely couldn't do it without the volunteers. But that wasn't your question, was it?
No. What inspires you?
Okay. I have my bachelor's is in radio, TV, film from Cal State Long Beach. I was born and raised in Cochise County. I was movie deprived as a kid because the drive-in was only open in the summers.
Okay.
And yeah.
I feel spoiled.
Yeah. And we'd go to Bisbee once. I went to Bisbee once with my family for a movie. And so I got to see these little pieces of magic. And when I went to see Mary Poppins, when I was, oh goodness, I don't know how old I was. I was pretty young because I got the doll. I thought that is totally magic. How do they penguins dance? And there's a real live person there. It was just amazing to me. So that's when I figured out that movies are magic and I want to do something in media. And then, so I went to college, went from Douglas to Long Beach, and I went to Fullerton and then to Long Beach. And I just always, I created stuff with my first husband, and I just always loved movies because it's a different way to communicate. It's, you and I can talk and we have our conversation together. But if you go into a film and you're all sitting together and you're experiencing something together, it becomes a mutual experience. And it makes it a safe place for conversations. So we've all just lived through the same thing. And no matter what our backgrounds are or what our political leanings are or anything, we now have a common experience and we can share that with each other. And it's an open place for conversation. And that's my favorite part about it, is that we need that. We need to talk to each other. And I love that piece of it. So after the lobby, after the film's in the lobby, it's packed. And that's what I love about it. So
nice. I like that answer. That's a really good one. I can
Thank
see
you.
you're smiling on that. So Helen, we're running out of time. So could you plug and break the fourth wall, if you will, to see where our audience can go for more information about the Prescott Film Festival?
Okay. The festival information is at prescottfilmfestival.com, and our tickets are at ycpac.com. And send me an email, and helen.stephenson@yc.edu or helen@prescottfilmfestival.com, and I'll let you know whatever you want.
All right. Well, thank you, Helen. I hope to see everybody there.
Thank you for tuning in to another episode of the 5enses webcast. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. Remember, you can get all your science, culture, and art information at 5enses.mag.com. pick it up in one of your favorite local restaurants or stores, and also visit us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.